All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Noor, and I'm from Malaysia. I'm from the University of Technology, Malaysia. And practically what I am sharing with you guys today is part of my PhD research. I'm basically doing a research on building a conceptual business that. Okay, but for today, basically, I'm sharing part of the business model that I've built and I've developed and shared during MOOC 2016 last year. And this is actually the social engagement framework for MOOC sustainability in higher education. Practically, the daunting part when it comes to MOOC platform is not how many courses that you can take, but basically how are you going to actually match which course that is suitable for you, and at the same time making sure that the courses that you develop is cost compliant as well as something which is sustainable for the institutional as well as the organization. So basically, based on my research, I discovered that there are several elements as well as factors that are very important, and it is very integral in making sure the sustainability of MOOC in a certain institutional based on the demographic, based on the values, based on the interests of a certain institution as well as the users. So basically, let me share with you, the one in the middle itself, the Venn diagram there are three main parts. The first one is the social sustainability. What I meant by social sustainability, meaning that we are actually trying to create a sustainable system where the users as well as the instructors are able to create a dynamic interaction. We are not merely talking about just a virtual interaction. Practically, we are trying to create a dynamic using asynchronous as well as synchronous discussion. It can be social media. It can actually go beyond the platform itself. So I think this is something that any platform or even edX can consider. And at the same time, we are looking at the cognitive sustainability. What I meant by this is that we want to study how the users as well as the instructor make use as well as utilize the information as well as the resources that they use. Because most of the time it's just videos, and you know, sometimes users, they get bored just watching at videos. So we wanted to actually study how we can create a more dynamic as well as a more interactive resources that enable a cognitive interaction and effectiveness between the users as well as the completion rate of the courses. I think this is one of the main dilemma as well as that is plaguing the institutional success. And then the third one is the constructive sustainability. What I'm looking at here is basically looking at beyond just the completion rate of MOOC in institution level. What we're talking about is what can the users do with the MOOC that they have completed. Are they going to be able to use the MOOC and the accreditation that they use in order for them to bank in another prospects in career advancemational? And this is actually we are actually creating like an avenue for a institutional incorporation between edX perhaps as well as other corporations that are willing to find suitable candidates in order to fill the position. So we felt that instead of just completing any courses, we are creating an avenue to help corporation find the right candidate for their corporation. And I think this is something that we can actually look into very thoroughly. And as you can see, the whole ecosystem that we are creating right now is basically gelled by these three elements. We are, as you know, when we talk about sustainability, we're talking about, it's not just ecosystem. We're talking about the ethos. We're trying to create an environment where it is robust, compliant, as well as dynamic and flexible enough for the users as well as the corporation and institution to create a very dynamic engagement with each other. And when we're talking about connection here, when we talk about connection, we're not just talking about someone who's paying or merely just signing up just to get something. We're trying to get connection, saying, hey, I actually learned something from here and I would like to share with someone else. I think this is something that we would like to create by talking about sustainability, because we want to empower the users as well as the instructor. And ownership is very important. I think just now, Nick Van Dam had actually highlighted this in his talk just now, saying that when the users or even the instructors, when they feel the ownership on the information that they share, this is something which is will create a more sustainable effect when it comes to MOOC success in the future. And as you can see, the whole ecosystem is actually being there's interlock between these four main elements that you can see: the infrastructure as well as the financial, because we are talking about something to create revenue with the intervention of transnational let's say, partnership. And then we are talking about values here. We are talking about people before strategy. And this is something that I think when we talk about social engagement, we can actually create something which is more people-friendly rather than just talking about deliverance of a course. That's all. Thank you.